This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
And welcome back to Off the Break Podcast. I'm Cody, and with me are Kyle and Eric.
Hello.
Excuse you, Eric. Are you okay?
Yeah, I just had a little phlegm.
Phlegm. It
Just
is
a little
that
phlegm right
phlegmy
before the
time of year.
podcast.
Oh, I know.
So here we are doing a later than usual podcast. We like to try to get to these in the morning, but I had work going on at my house that I had to attend to. So here I am in the afternoon after having a beer at lunch. So this should be a really fun podcast.
Whee!
I didn't get a beer at lunch.
No, I didn't bring them. I thought about bringing them, but then I thought,
Oh, you didn't.
yeah, no. And then
you did.
I told my husband, I was like, the other gentlemen in the office, not you guys, but the older ones, might look down on that.
Might be
None
frowned.
of
might
whom
be,
are here right now.
Might
I
be
didn't
frowned
know
upon
that.
in this establishment.
If I had known, I would have done it. All right.
No, that's very fair though.
Yeah.
Oh well.
You don't want the dad disappointment look glare at you.
Stink eye.
Oh, but it just makes you feel so bad.
It really, really does.
So today we want to talk about some movies we saw. Talk about that infamous Rise of Skywalker trailer. I don't know, that little trailer. Maybe you hadn't heard of it or seen it, but you know, we can talk about it here so you don't have to.
We'll get. Yeah.
Well,
we'll
yes,
get
yes, we
there.
will. I don't know why we both are just like, what do we say?
I'm just sitting here like, infamous. What?
Wasn't
It's been out for like 5 days.
Cody's just trashing on it.
Cody likes to
I'm
troll
setting
me.
it up to trash on it.
She likes to troll me.
That
all it
meh
is.
trailer. We'll get to that later.
You say meh, but
But I
know.
say,
I know.
God status.
No. We'll get there. Let's start with the
All right, let's
oldest
go-
of the three movies.
Let's go
I
back
guess.
to the beginning.
Back
all
to the
the way
beginning.
back to last week. Kyle and I were both able to catch Zombieland Double Tap.
Yeah.
So what did you think, Kyle?
The-
Were you a big fan of the first
Decade
one?
in the making follow up to the
Yeah, was
critically
it
acclaimed
like-
Zombieland.
Was it like a case where it was supposed to come out a long time ago and kind of development hell happened and then they finally got around to it? Or did they really only decide to make a follow-up within the last couple of years?
For a long time, there was thoughts about there being a sequel, but of course it became one of the situations where the script wasn't right or whatever. And then there was always rumblings that they were trying to make a TV show, and at one point, like
Yeah, I
a
think I remember
pilot was
that.
made for Hulu, but even that got canned or something.
It's
along
all the way
those
back in the
lines
early
anyway.
2010s.
Yeah, really.
A long time ago.
The cast got busy, making Academy Award winning films.
Yeah, Emma Stone went on. I was surprised she actually came back for this. It's like Academy. I think
Was she there though?
was she an Academy Award winner or just a nominee?
No, she was a winner.
I think
She
she's
was?
the only winner. I think the rest are nominees.
Yes.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah.
so weird? Like Academy Award nominee.
Well, yeah, in the first
Jesse Eisenberg,
trailer, they were
Academy
like
Award nominee Woody Harrelson. All for
nominee,
Zombieland.
nominee, winner, and it's like, oh yeah, these 4 that were in the dinky zombie movie are, which praise to that casting director. I mean, Woody Harrelson was a big name.
Oh, they nailed
still,
it, yeah.
But everyone else, though,
There's a reason why it became like a cult movie.
yeah.
Which
Anyway,
is, I guess it's surprising it didn't get a sequel until now, because like thinking back on that movie, because it was kind of a success, low key based on its budget, you would think that they would immediately jump
it
on
was
the
more of
sequel
a
train.
success as a cult classic, though. Like later on, to where they were thinking about doing a sequel.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even know if they were ever planning on it, but anyway,
was a
that's the
simpler
whole
time.
story behind it. And now 10 years later, as Cody said, here we are with Zombieland Double Tap. The game's back together, and it's
Yeah,
not
it weirdly
quite
seems kind of
feeling that way.
it feels kind of mild, It's not like the big reunion.
Mhm.
It's like I feel like that maybe the marketing was trying to play it up as
Yeah,
like 10 years later, it's finally here.
yeah, and everyone's
It's
like, oh yeah, there was a first
oh
one.
yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, which is kind of frustrating because you really hope that it would feel exactly like the original, but I don't know. Times have changed, tastes have been different. It just doesn't feel like what the original was. The original was such a surprise, when it came out.
Well, a lot of things are different too, because like the whole Zombieland shtick is like everybody's so ironic and sarcastic
Yeah.
and kind of cynical. but it's always kind of funny. But now it's maybe a little bit old.
Well, I mean, back in 2009, there wasn't even a Walking Dead show when Zombieland came out, and after that, like, the zombie craze was blowing up.
There wasn't a Deadpool either, was there? No, I don't think so. I was just thinking that Deadpool took that fourth wall humor.
Oh no, that was I think 5 years. I think that was 2014 was Deadpool.
I feel like
something like that.
I feel
no,
like
2016.
They took it to a different level for that rated R kind of
kind of
horror
evolved.
comedy
It
thing.
kind of
Sure, that
evolved,
too.
that kind of detached, carefree, kind of ironic humor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess the problem, I didn't really not like Zombieland 2. It's just kind of, it wasn't really anything special. It was a fun time. It was a fun time at the movie theater for the most part, I guess.
Were the new characters good?
No.
The guy, the marijuana guy that takes the young girl?
Not really.
No.
Did he?
Well, that's one of my biggest issues is Abigail Breslin was like, she's obviously the most changed from the last one because she was like a little kid in the first one. And in this one, she's kind of the crux of the whole plot. She she runs away 'cause she wants to find people her own age. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. She's frustrated, but we really don't ever spend time with her.
She's not in the movie.
Yeah, it's like kind of convenient. You would think that there would be like a split storyline where like they're trying to find her and going through their thing,
and then she's like, "What
and
did
then
I
it
do?"
shows her kind of doing her own thing. You maybe get to know her as a character a little bit more, but there's like 2 10-second cutaway scenes that are just like a one joke thing, and then it goes back to the main core of the group, and she just kind of disappears.
And the adventure that
that's
everyone
terrible.
else goes on to find her, it doesn't feel organic. It doesn't feel fleshed out. It just feels like skits that were thought of for like a sketch show, like making fun of zombies and just combining them together in order to get to the final
a loose narrative
battle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the biggest thing.
At least I haven't seen the first Zombieland in quite a while, so maybe it's exactly the same and I'm just forgetting, but I'm pretty sure the first one had much more of a cohesive narrative than just feeling like it's a bunch of skits put together.
Ooh, did Bill Murray come back?
Yeah, he has like a cameo at the end.
Yeah,
I'm glad
I actually
they-
like that part.
It's like a prequel thing where it's like before the outbreak. He's like given press junkets for Garfield 3 Flabby Tabby.
So he really...
So that part was pretty funny.
Yeah,
he
that
really
was good.
did kill him in the first Zombieland.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
murried him.
Yeah.
That's like now a verb, and that part was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's a good bit too.
I mean, I liked Rosario Dawson's character. Of all the new characters, I feel like she was the best.
Yeah, agreed.
Was she like
She just
Woody
kinda-
Harrelson's love interest?
Yeah,
yeah,
eventually.
Eventually.
But like, she's just kind of this, hardened, tough, post-apocalyptic veteran who's living in like a Elvis tourist gas station roadside thing, and she doesn't really have anything particularly unique about her other than she plays off of Woody Harrelson pretty well.
Yeah.
But compared to the other new characters, she wasn't annoying.
How is Jesse Eisenberg's new love interest blonde, or is that even a thing?
Eric and I may differ
Well,
about
that's the
this.
thing.
Yes.
I
didn't
weirdly
mind
have
her.
different thoughts on this. So when I
Okay.
saw it, the whole gist of her is she's like a ditzy, airheaded, dumb blonde
Right.
who like everybody knows that character type, kind of Valley Girl speak, and that is literally all she is. And I was sitting there like, I feel like this is a really outdated joke or like character trope. Like, is this really that funny? Because there would be jokes where like she is handed a pair of binoculars and she looks
Threw them
the
the
wrong way.
She's like, they're so far away.
That's exactly what she says.
Yeah, that's a line.
That's the joke, and people in the theater are kind of laughing like, ah.
Oh,
But I'm just
no.
like, what? Like, this is not. This feels so outdated. It's
Oh my god.
why are you trying to make that come across like an actually funny thing?
Yeah.
There's just a whole lot of that with her, and
Did she die?
no, there's like a fake out joke where it looks like she gets bitten, and then Jesse Eisenberg has to go out and shoot her like Old Yeller style, or
Yeah.
like
So he
Old
does.
Yeller style.
he's like time to talk to Lenny about the rabbits or something. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh jeez.
That was a great
Oh,
line.
no.
That line
was pretty funny.
good.
And it's implied that he shoots her but then she comes back later and she was actually just having a nut allergy.
Oh.
And it's like kind of funny, I
And
guess.
he never shot her?
No.
I
And so
don't-
Emma Stone's like, what?
She definitely wasn't the best character,
does
but
Emma
I
Stone just shoot
appreciate
her?
the actress for really going for it anyway.
Yeah, she really goes for it.
Yeah, she
and I mean,
was
there are a couple
trying.
parts that are kind of funny. Like there's a part where they're just kind of driving and out of nowhere she's like, so I have this random idea about like what if strangers paid other strangers to drive them around, and they're all like, yeah, that would happen. You wouldn't have to worry about getting murdered at all.
And she's
Yeah.
like, no, there'll be a point system so you can like rate them.
And it's like, oh, it's funny. She's describing Uber. So that part was kind of funny. But other than that, see, my thing with her character, because she was so just that stereotype that everybody knows, no different, nothing really creative. I was expecting her to have like a twist to her character, like maybe she's a genius and this is just like a front she's been putting on that's like a survival technique. Maybe she somehow is like the key to the cure for the
Oh
zombies.
my gosh, well, she's immune to their bites.
Yeah, see, that's kind of what I thought they were going for when she
She's
came
so
back.
dumb, but
Or
she
if-
keeps living because
Yeah.
they can't
She's a
turn
type
her.
of zombie, like the new type of
And
zombie.
it's like,
Yeah.
okay, but no, she's just that character type.
Oh, that's sad.
And I just found it really grating.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, Kyle liked her.
Again, I agree with you. The character is dated and really dumb to have. But I just appreciate. You could just see that the actress was like giving it her all.
The one
So I was
thing,
like,
yeah.
well,
The one
at
thing
least she's
I'll-
making it entertaining, just because I can see her acting her butt off to like try and make this work.
Yeah,
So I
that's
give her
true.
that anyway.
The biggest thing I can say for her character is going back to what I was saying about how the Zombieland movies are all about being super ironic and in jokes and sarcastic and kind of nihilistic. Her character, as obnoxious as she is kind of a good counter to that sometimes, because she's just so like naive and oblivious to things that she's kind of like this optimistic comedic relief when it works, but she's just really annoying.
Oh.
The best part about this movie, I think, was Woody Harrelson. Like, he easily slides back in and doesn't miss a beat at
Yeah.
all.
He
Same
wa-
with Eisenberg, too, actually.
He was kind of the reason why I wanted to see it again.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably the best part.
Emma Stone, maybe I just haven't seen the movie in a really long time. At times, I kind of felt like she might have been phoning it in just a tad.
Her character didn't really have anything to do in this one.
That's true.
She's
She
like,
really,
we gotta go rescue my sister, and in the process, I'm gonna learn that I love Jesse Eisenberg all
Which-
over again.
which that part annoyed me too. Like, it's another kind of what you were saying about the character. Like, we've seen that plot beat before, to where
Well,
it's like the characters from the first one
Yeah.
that loved each other now broke up, and now they have to figure it out all. And it's
Well,
like, we've been there before.
By the end of this movie, like it's the exact same as they're in the exact same position as they were in the first one.
and they clearly
Like
don't
Abigail
learn
Breslin
anything.
still, doesn't have any other friends her age. She didn't find love, but she doesn't care about that anymore. But now Woody Harrelson has love, I guess. So Abigail Breslin is now like the seventh wheel or something.
Yeah, something along those lines. It's kind of sad.
I don't know. It was just kind of a slapped together
Ho hum.
plot, but
yeah.
because the characters are still more or less the same, it's still fun to watch them banter, and
Yeah.
zombie gore is
The
usually
chemistry was still
pretty
there.
fun.
Like, there was still chemistry from the first one for sure, and there's still some of the same type of jokes from like the first one all the way back in 2009, and they were able to use again in 2019, which is kind of crazy to think of, but
Yeah.
just because times have changed and all, you think some jokes might not be able to work, but no, still are able to work for the most part.
Oh, nice.
So
Well,
if people
it's
love their
pretty meh.
Zombieland,
It was
sorry
pretty
to
meh.
burst
It
your
was pretty
bubble.
meh.
Well, that's sad. How's Countdown?
That's sad.
Better or worse than Zombieland?
Yeah. What? Because we're trying to determine what people should see Halloween night.
What's gonna get them in
Yeah.
that spooky mood?
Spooky.
Well, this is not going to put them in a spooky mood. It's going to make them laugh, but not put them in a spooky mood.
Did you get scared? Did you
No.
jump at all?
I did jump,
Okay.
but because I'm bad with jump scares. Like, even if
How do you
I
not
see
see them coming?
I do see them coming, but I'm still like in my chair all comfy, and then like all of a sudden it just does the stupid jump scare thing that it always does.
understand.
It's so bad. I
Just
hate
imagine
it.
the editor just like, okay, Now we're gonna get him.
I'm gonna get Kyle. God, I hate it so much, and I always.
What if it was muted? Is it the sound or is it the image of
For
the
me,
thing jumping?
It has to be a mixture of
I
both.
think it's sound. I'm very more sensitive to sound.
Yeah, same here.
So sometimes I'll even jump
I'll
at
test
explosions.
that sometimes. See,
Just watch a jump scare on mute. And
yeah,
just be like,
I'll try that one of these days
What?
because it's really not scary at all. Like I said earlier, like the jump scares are very obvious. Like they're either in a poorly lit hallway or a poorly lit room, and of course they're gonna find out what the noise is, and then it's not what they first think, and it's all there. So it's definitely not a scary movie. But throughout the time watching it, I came to realize that while it started off as coming across as being serious, like it definitely is leaning towards like being aware of how ridiculous its concept is, of like a phone app counting down the hours until you're dead, and then the demon's gonna get you when you have to die. And
is it just a demon?
Is it?
yeah, it's such a bad looking. I don't even know how to describe it.
They
but
like
it's,
show the monster.
yeah, it's so hilarious.
Do they?
It's so bad.
Do they defeat the demon in the app in the end,
Well,
or do
I
they
can't-
all
Yeah,
die?
how do they get rid of the app?
Spoil that?
Is it like the ring where it never goes away?
It never goes
Does it
away
end
unless
with like
if
a
you beat it.
cliffhanger tease ending of somebody, some random new stranger, like stumbling upon it in the app store and like deciding to install it on their
like
phone?
Jumanji?
Like,
Close.
ooh, what is this?
Close to what you're saying, but I'm not
Do
gonna
they pick
give.
up one of the dead people's phones and be like, "Oh, sweet, new phone"?
No,
Oh,
but that would be
what's this?
hilarious. That would have been even funnier.
Oh.
No,
I think you can
it's-
tell us the movie's out already.
Nobody
no.
cares about this.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about
I'm
this
gonna be
movie.
good about this. I'll tell you
Oh,
after the podcast for sure, though. I'm good with this type of stuff.
With Countdown.
With Countdown.
This is
Even
the hill
with
you want to die
Countdown.
on.
If I hated this
I will
movie,
not
I definitely.
spoil the Countdown ending for all of our
If I hated this
listeners.
movie, I definitely would just be like, all right, here's what's happening. But because I actually found a way to enjoy myself, like I hope that other people are able to as well.
They probably won't.
They probably won't.
So, which did you like more, Zombieland?
Oh,
or Countdown?
Zombieland by far.
Okay, so Countdown is 2 on the list. We'll get to Addams Family here in a second.
Or right now? Do you want me
Oh.
to keep talking about Countdown?
Was there any more? I thought there was
Just
maybe more.
tell us.
Tell us.
No, I mean it's a self-aware PG-13 movie. Probably would have been a bit funnier and better if it was R-rated, but it's not, and it can't push itself to be R-rated.
Would you have felt better if you were like 14 going and seeing it?
I think, yeah, in the 14-year-old mindset, probably would have liked it even more, just
Yeah.
because of knowing that it's bad, but it's like in my age group to where I can see this movie, I guess. But
If you were like, hey guys, Chris just got his learner's permit. He's gonna drive us all
Yeah,
over to the theater after
exactly.
school. We're seeing Countdown. Think
Yeah,
you can handle it.
I could definitely see that being a possibility for people during Halloween, teenagers during Halloween.
Oh, the time in everybody's life. Freedom.
Anyway,
With
now I'm
restrictions.
done. Now that's
Okay.
all I had to say.
Okay, well, I took my son last night to Addams Family. It was very
Nice.
fun. He talked to everybody, told him what movie we were going to as we saw strangers walking into the theater, and they're like, nice, buddy.
How could anyone be that friendly?
He's
Ugh.
so friendly. It's so excited. He really enjoyed it. I found the animation a little off-putting. It was just hard to get into it. I don't know how to like explain it, but I felt like it was a mixture of cheap computer animation.
Yeah.
But there was like some really kind of neat elements, but they were so distorted in their looks that it was hard to kind of get into that.
I feel like a lot of times, like if they are a little bit low on the budget or if they are on the cheaper side, they'll really leaning into like the distorted character designs as sort of like an artistic choice.
Well, I was
Right.
excited for this because they looked like their counterparts of like the original comics. But as like I kept seeing more and more marketing, I was like, oh wait, no, this just is cheap.
Yeah.
It just looks worse and
It's
worse
one of those
the more I
animated
watch it.
movies where like the characters just look just aesthetically like too different from like the backgrounds
Yeah.
or like the environments.
Especially
They
when
don't jive.
like They looked like dolls, almost animated dolls. Like there was something very like wooden about them, and animation anymore is pushing to be so like fluid and realistic, but these were very like stiff. And I think that worked for the Addams characters, but when you saw the stiffness in the regular people, like the main villainous girl, her hair was just like this thing that didn't move. It just moved with her head. It was so weird and like stuck out.
I guess I didn't realize that.
It's not like Frozen.
There are other people than the Addams family who are going to be have this strange look.
It's not like in Frozen 2 to where you see every single strand of hair blowing through the wind.
No, so I wasn't. So that took me through the whole movie and it just took me out of it a few times, and then it was really like on the nose with some parts of it. Like I don't know, it took parts of the movies, like things that stood out to me in the movies, and like copied them. So it was like a lot of copycat things out of the movies.
Yeah,
and I didn't like that. I wanted something completely new and different.
Yeah,
and I just felt like, oh, they're supposed to be creepy, and of course, they're going to like dissect frogs in school, but she makes one come back to life. And it was just predictable.
Oh, and then the kids look at her like she's weird.
Yeah, but then she makes the frogs attack a girl, which that part I liked. But
was that girl a bully?
Yeah, she was a bully.
Gotta teach them lessons.
Yeah. So there was a little
Put
bit
them
of
in their place.
There was a little bit of that. Just very much like predictable, like you think that they're making the joke because you think it's the low-hanging fruit of it. There's nothing clever about what they were doing. And that was kind of disappointing because I think with Addams Family, you can be really clever.
Oh, yeah.
And how they're like creepy and kooky and how they do things.
It's in the song.
Yeah. And how they do things just like a little different. But they, I don't know, made it so that it was something you knew for sure that they were doing. But other than that, it was cute. It had a really good little story, and everybody comes together at the end. My son didn't like the bullies, but he didn't think it was scary, and he's 6, so that's good.
Good for him.
Yeah, he really enjoyed it. And there's this joke at the end. One of the townspeople, because I don't know, there's through a series of events, the townspeople come to hate the Addams again, and then they come to attack them, but then they realize they're just a family, and so then the townspeople are like introducing themselves as just like equals in this community, and part of getting to that point was they had to tell them like secrets because the main villainous lady was spying on everybody in the town. And one of the jokes was this lady likes to sit backwards to use the bathroom, and she's like, where do you put your arms if you don't sit that way?
Or like sitting on a toilet backwards.
Yeah. And my son thought that was hilarious. We had to talk about that after the movie. Like, because then Morticia's like, oh, the toilet lady. And he laughed and laughed and laughed at that joke. It's so funny what like children think are hilarious.
That's why in movies rely on poop humor.
Yeah, it worked.
It's a go-getter.
We had a big talk about it afterwards about how just because that lady sat backwards on the potty doesn't mean you should. And he's like, yeah, because I got to put my arms down when I go. I'm like, yeah, that's the lesson.
You're like, yeah, that's why.
That's the lesson you want to learn here.
Thank you, Addams Family.
Oh, man.
Do you think you'd ever show him the live-action movies?
Yes.
You show your kids those? Because those are...
They're so good.
Yeah.
And they really hold up. And
yeah,
I think those are still my favorite. Like, I don't know if you remember, there's a scene where in the live action ones where Morticia like cuts all the rose tops off. Well, like that's a scene in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That they're there and she just grabs the stems and walks away with them. And I'm like, you guys can come up with something a little bit more clever. I've seen this.
Yeah.
With
Literally
the
in the last movie. I wonder if that was trying to be a homage or not.
Oh, I'm sure it obviously was.
Yeah, like if you aren't familiar with them, remember this scene?
Yeah.
This is so Addams Family.
Anyway, I'm just wondering what they'll think of that version.
Yeah.
Because this one was by no means creepy, but the live action ones kind of were.
And then,
like in a charming sense, I guess.
Yeah. The main villainess was like a home redoer decorator person with a TV show, but she was blonde and pretty and perfect, just like in the second Addams Family where Fester marries that one girl that tries to kill him for this fortune.
Oh, right.
And then Fester gets with the girl in the end of this one. It was just a lot of the same stuff.
Maybe it is a homage.
Maybe it's just a reboot.
Or a reboot. Maybe
I think
it's that
it's
too.
a little bit of that. I kind of feel like I got the impression that they saw what J.J. Abrams did with Star Wars, and they're like, oh, you can just rehash some of the storyline.
That's what everyone's doing. That's
And
what
they're
the new
like, oh,
Terminator's
that's
doing.
so easy.
Yeah. It's like, I never thought of it that
Just
way.
a few
not
key
hard to write a
scenes that are
movie.
that are just like the old one. We won't copy everything, but just enough that you know exactly what you're watching, and then we'll go with that.
Good little segue, I guess.
Yeah.
To our final topic.
Oh,
Are we going to talk about Star Wars?
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty big deal, I guess, this trailer.
okay.
Well,
before
don't
we get-
try and
hold on.
don't try and be like, I
Before
guess
we get
it's a
to
big
it,
deal. You
What are we going to see on
loved
Halloween?
it.
Zombieland or Addams Family? No one's going to see Countdown.
I'm gonna be going to see Terminator.
No, what are the people supposed to go
people-
see?
Terminator.
I guess the early show of Terminator is on Halloween.
It
Yeah.
is.
I mean,
Okay.
take your pick.
I
It's
would
not
say
really,
Zombieland.
There's not really
Yeah.
a horror.
If you're older,
movie.
Zombieland. If you're younger, definitely go see Addams Family. The kids will love the poop humor. Okay.
I love poop humor.
Me
Poop
too.
humor.
I gotta say I laughed at that part.
Yeah, poop is always funny.
Poop is always funny.
It is. Okay, Star Wars. There was a big epic trailer that launched with the advanced ticket sales launch.
Yeah, that was on Monday. What was the
During
football
the
game? I
Monday
got made
Night
fun of in the
Football.
office
Jets-
because I said some football game.
Jets Patriots, and my God, was it awful. Luckily, that's probably why they brought in this trailer, because that game was horrendous. It was
I think
not
it's
fun.
just Monday Night Football.
Most
it could
of
have been any game.
Well, I guess, yeah, but this one was, not fun.
not a tune into it.
Why?
No, one team blew out the other bad. Like
Yeah.
it
Does
just,
that make a bad football
it
game?
makes
This
a
is
bad
not
football game.
Not
You like
fun.
competition. You like it to be down to the
all
wire.
the time though? Is it
Yeah.
not fun to like mix it up with just a total domination?
I mean, if
every
it's
once
your
in a while?
team that you want to dominate another team, yes. But
Just
otherwise, you
flip
want
your
it-
loyalty.
You can, and I feel like that happens more in basketball.
Did you guys know, just as a side note, the
Not in
World
football.
Series is going on? Remember that used
What's
to
that
be
sport?
baseball.
No, I did not know that was
Apparently,
going
you
on.
did not know. That
I
used to be
don't-
such big news.
I don't
and I
pay
was
attention to baseball.
I was like, oh, there's been 2 games already? That's crazy.
No one cares about baseball.
It's America's pastime.
No one cares. It's
probably
just
why
They,
it's
facts.
they do
pastime.
too many games in a season. They need to. That's a whole nother debate.
Yeah, well, that's not what we're
Baseball
here to talk
purists would
about.
disagree because it messes with stats, but I think that they have too many games in a season.
Sports.
Okay, so
Sports.
any segue I can to deflect from the
Yeah,
Star Wars
sorry.
trailer. It's like-
No, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say. It's the final trailer. I think it's literally called final trailer.
Yeah, it looks really pretty.
Well, yeah. What do you?
What happened to your excitement on
What can
Monday?
you
I
say?
came into the office.
I love the trailer, but I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm supposed to say about it in a
What was your-
audio-only podcast.
What was your favorite part of the trailer? Because
My favorite part of the trailer is when the music, the original theme, like kicked in, and like the
Yeah.
first 2 notes of it are like blasting as it shows Finn and like the rest like running down a hallway. It's
Yeah.
just the way the music like comes in right there. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah, the music.
because they haven't
sounded
used that
fantastic.
theme yet in any of the sequel trilogy's advertising, which is crazy.
That's not true.
I was
Yeah, it is.
kinda,
What?
Yeah, not like the main. They use like the Force theme.
I
They've
don't
used
believe
the
you.
They've used the Imperial March theme. They've done interesting takes on it.
we have to go back and watch them. Kyle.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some homework now.
Yeah,
But no, the music was awesome.
yeah. The music was my favorite part of the trailer.
Yeah.
It's always my favorite part of the trailer.
There were so many pretty shots. Space is so pretty to shoot.
Yeah.
No, I mean, in all
Planets are
seriousness, in all
cool.
seriousness, though, I loved it because I love Star Wars, and it's like, ooh,
Right.
more, give me more. But I also like, the way they've advertised all 3 of the sequel trilogy movies. They're all so subtle, and they don't really tell you anything, anyways. So
Yeah.
you kind of don't have to see them,
Right.
but you gotta release trailers.
You don't have to see the trailer. You mean?
Well, because it's not going to really tell you anything.
no, and this
about it.
certainly didn't.
And so, a
I mean,
lot
it's a
of
road
people
trip
prefer to
adventure
go
story,
in blind.
which they all are.
I did find out that that one of the scenes that they show is on this world that looks like it has crash destroyers on it, but it's all water. That was
Yeah.
a moon on one of Endor's moons.
Ooh. Well, there's like,
All right.
there are a lot of cool shots that tease just like, even for Star Wars, like the ridiculous scale of this thing.
Yeah.
There's like shots where, there's like at least 3 trillion ships in it.
Yeah.
Like at any given moment.
Did
And
it
they
look
always
like-
look incredible.
Did it
Oh
look
my God.
like the Emperor was on a mechanical throne?
It looked like he was
Then
on one
he-
of those like floating chairs just because he doesn't have any legs.
I figured it was a spider throne, like Darth Maul's spider legs underneath, and being like at her.
Probably.
Creepy.
I have a question. In the
Yes.
trailer, it showed, I guess, some rebels riding space ponies on
Yeah.
one of the ships.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Where
Well, I
did
don't know
they-
how they get there. We'll probably have to see the movie for that. But I know one of the new characters, I forget who plays her. The character's name is Jana, I think. One of the new characters in this movie is like part of, I'm assuming, like
tribe.
some sort of resistance-friendly tribe who are like living on the outskirts or something, but their sympathies lie with the resistance.
Bring in the
And
the
so
horses.
I think that the space ponies, as you so,
Ponies.
delicately put it, come from that part of the story.
That's code for like
we
an
were
idiot.
technically introduced to space ponies in the last movie.
Those are different.
I bet they're gonna bring back. They're gonna be like, those ponies are free, and now we're gonna use them for war.
so fast.
They're called Faviers.
Are they actually?
Yes.
Oh well.
Are you
Space
sure
ponies.
they're different?
Yes, I'm 110% positive.
I feel like we're
they're
sounding
different.
very sarcastic, but Eric and I are genuinely like excited
I'm super
for this
excited, but
trailer.
it's-
it was,
Did find that
it
the
was
little
entertaining.
alien working on C-3PO
Like,
was
it's
cute.
adorable. I
Yeah.
forget his name.
Whatever that is. That
I
was
hope
cute.
he just turns C-3PO into a war machine. I
think
can't
C-3PO
wait
is
for
dead.
that.
Well, there's leaks that
Alright.
C-3PO is gonna like die or like be booted. A lot of people are gonna die.
Yeah.
So
I
whether
have
or
a
not it
feeling
happens in that
We're
scene
killing
or
them
not,
all off, baby.
I have a feeling C-3PO is going to upload himself into the Millennium Falcon.
it's already filled up
Oh.
with L3.
Yeah.
God, that sounds like
that
an awful
canon,
idea.
the thing that is now canon. There is a battle
Ugh.
droid head in the background of the C-3PO thing. Which
There's
I thought
a
was
what
cool.
and the what now?
Like a battle droid head in the background of the C-3PO scene. I was like, whoa. Until now, the sequels have like done nothing to acknowledge anything from the prequels.
Yeah.
But that was kind of cool.
All right.
I was kind of thinking why I thought the trailer was just meh.
yeah,
like,
Because
I
you
was-
watched it on your phone the first time you watched it?
That too, but I also watched
Well.
it in my office on my big monitor with the sound turned up way high. I still was like,
we're looking at our monitors now. They're not
That's
very
a pretty
big.
normal size
That's
monitor.
a pretty normal size. That's like an
Bigger
iPad.
than a phone.
It's like an
Just kidding.
iPad screen these days.
I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna
So
get
what
a
were you
new
going to
one.
say, though?
yeah, please go on.
I think I'm just not invested in a lot of the other peripheral characters. I think I'm really only invested in Rey and maybe Finn to a lesser extent. I am more intrigued by the Rey, Kylo Ren
Yeah.
saga than I.
Relationship?
But there's more than that in this movie, and I just find that I don't care about the Resistance people, and that made me feel bad. But I don't care about the other girl that was I thought in a coma before that Finn was taking care of.
If
I
I'm
mean Leia?
No, no, the girl.
Oh, Rose.
Yeah, Rose. I just.
Well, you said coma, and
Well, wasn't she in a coma in the end of Rian Johnson's one?
I think she was just sleeping.
Yeah, probably. But when you say coma and Last Jedi, everyone's gonna think of Leia.
Oh, I
That's
thought
a good
about.
point.
Oh, I said at the end. Leia was awake.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
at
she's
the
like
end, yeah.
she's like hurt, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
no, love triangle.
Yeah,
Ugh.
but I know I was kind of like, ugh, and then here she is again with Finn. I'm like, and then
I like Rose.
is it Poe Dameron?
The character's fine.
Yeah.
It's just a
Poe's
weird
best.
story.
just not.
It's Oscar Isaac.
It's-
Oscar
he's
Isaac is
no
the best.
replacement for Harrison Ford, and I wish that
He's not
Han
supposed to be.
kinda, and I wish Han
No.
Solo was there at the end. I just found myself really missing Han Solo
Well,
there.
how
at
is
the
that
end.
a fault against the trailer?
Well, don't worry, Cody, because we got a good old movie for you to check out. Solo, a Star Wars story where you can have all the Han Solo you want.
That's not really Han Solo.
Yeah, that's just Han before he became Han Solo.
Yeah, it's not my Solo.
I get what you mean about not caring about the Resistance, because whenever I watch the Star Wars movies, I never really care either. I'm mostly there for the main characters.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, but like, are you supposed? I mean, do you really care about like the rebellion in like the original Star Wars movies?
No, that's what I'm
You
saying.
care
Like,
about
I
like,
don't.
Luke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
He's the
guess
face of-
because Leia
But that's
was
what I
part
mean.
of
For
it,
this-
though.
for the the storytelling. It's like Rey and Finn and like the main characters. They are the Resistance, really.
Right.
Like,
but I guess I didn't find myself caring about the others. And even Finn, now that he's kind of gone off with Rose, I've kind of a little lost interest.
we don't know if he's gone off with Rose.
It seems like,
It seems
if
like
anything,
it.
Finn's back over
Yeah, the
hanging out
core
with
three
Daisy.
are all
then.
going to be together for the first time.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Which is weird to
know.
think of, actually.
That it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Poe is like supposed to die in the first one, so he's like barely in it. And then the second one, you know.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. But that part I'm really excited for, because that's what they showed me the most in this trailer, is that we don't know much of the story, but we know for sure that it's going to be like the main characters together.
Now, it'll be
through
interesting to
space.
see how Poe
And that's
plays
what I
off of
want.
Rey.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't think we've, except for like that last line in The Last Jedi, you never really see them interact or even like see
Maybe
each
I
other.
should
Yeah.
go watch Force Awakens and Last Jedi again. I am not having enthusiasm for it. I really think
It's been a while since Star Wars,
And it
which
was-
is nice.
it's been a while, but I think that, I was so hesitant about Last Jedi, and then it didn't quite maybe live up to expectations, and I didn't really like some of the stuff, that it's really just damped my enthusiasm
I
for.
feel like that's a common feeling.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never
I mean, it
felt
happened.
that way.
It always seemed like you were burnt out between the Last Jedi stuff
I've
and
always
then
been
Solo coming
insanely
out.
excited
Yeah.
for this one. I'm very,
Yeah.
very excited to see the Skywalker saga end. It's everything that's going to come after, because it will never, ever go away. Ever.
No.
You know, I like the idea of having a trilogy of trilogies to tell the Skywalker saga, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, say
But-
what you will about the prequels, but together, all 9 of them, I think it's a cool idea, and it's a pretty unique thing.
For
even
sure.
even in this time where, you know, the MCU has 20 plus movies and all that, but
22 glorious movies.
I don't know, just the trilogy of trilogies is what I'm saying. I think that's a cool idea,
Sure.
and
yeah.
it's been with me my whole life, so I want to be there for the end of it.
Yeah.
But it's just, it won't be the end of
But
it.
it should be the
The
end.
tagline of the movie is "The saga ends, the story will live."
Yeah,
forever.
that part I'm like,
and I'm like,
you
I
don't-
would like that tagline a lot if I wasn't thinking about the Disney money making machine is gonna live forever. 'Cause now
No.
I'm just like,
In-
ugh.
No, for sure.
In Mandalorian, are they going to explore more about the Jedi Order that was wiped out?
I doubt it. I don't think there's gonna be any Jedi stuff in
Because
Mandalorian.
I thought that was the most interesting part to me for Rogue One, was how they were mining that temple and then they blew it up.
Really?
Yeah, that was like
Yeah,
literally to
what?
me. I always think about that part, and I was like, "What secrets did they get? What was in there?" Like that to me, I just keep going back and being like, "Well,
A lot of
Or
people go crazy about Jedi lore.
I
Yeah.
mean, Jedi lore is cool too, but I also kind of like bounty hunter type stuff too.
No, give me the bounty hunters.
I don't
the
like-
scoundrels.
I don't know. I
I don't
I
like
just like a
that
mixture
stuff.
of all of
the
it. Like,
seedy underbellies.
as long as it feels Star Wars at its core, then I'm usually fine.
I think that's another part of Last Jedi that I found disappointing, was that they're supposed to find the tree and all that stuff, and then it just and
They
the
did.
books and there just was nothing.
What are they supposed to do with it? Read them?
Yeah,
Just have like a 5-hour movie of Luke just sitting there reading?
yeah.
And she does have the books though, if I recall.
Did she save them?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
has the books.
There's like a quick moment where
They learned everything they
she
needed
shuts
to
a
learn from
chest
that
with
tree and from those books. Yoda wouldn't have burned it down if there was still valuable lessons to be
Yoda
learned.
literally lit it on fire to laugh
Yes.
and be like, "It doesn't matter," like, which some people don't like. And
It's because
whatever,
they're stuck in
that's
the
fair,
past and
but-
they're seeing things the perverted way the Jedi did. The
As-
Jedi.
as we learned in
What?
the prequels.
The Jedi,
Yeah,
they were vain. That's what that was Luke's whole point.
right.
Like the Jedi let
But it doesn't mean that there wasn't
Palpatine
like
rise,
history or
control
knowledge
power.
or other fun things that, like, I think this would be an awesome game, is just to go around as a Jedi and find all the lost Jedi artifacts. I would love to play that video game and just be like, "Ooh, what is this? Ooh, what is this?"
I feel like
So
all of
Assassin's
those ideas
Creed
are
and
Yeah.
cooler
Lego,
in
all the Lego video
Mixed
games you
together
play.
with some Witcher stuff, because I want to fight bad guys, and then but it's Jedis, and I'm just looking for all the lost Jedi knowledge, and then I find Sith stuff that's scary and evil but very powerful. That would be fun too.
because the Sith have it right. The Jedi, they're a little high and mighty.
They were in
I
the prequels. Oh
I
my
reject
god.
both.
You can't.
You can reject both.
No.
Because
You could be a gray
life is
Jedi.
in the gray.
Gray Jedi confirmed.
Yeah.
I say gray.
refuse.
The Force will bounce. Did you not see Freddie Prinze Jr.'s like rant? That was like the best thing ever.
It's actually is a
I
very.
love
You,
that clip.
people listening, like you guys should check out Freddie
This guy
Prinze
gets
Jr.'s
it.
rant. He's such a mega Star Wars fan, and he just like
I
goes
loved it.
off for 3 minutes about why haters of Star Wars like have no right to, or not have no right to, but
Just the most toxic side.
yeah,
of
the
Star Wars
toxic
fan
part
base.
of it.
Yeah, he puts them in their place. I love that video.
Yeah, it is a pretty great rant. It made me feel good, and it was like just before the trailer dropped too, so I was
this
like,
guy gets it. You know, Star Wars is just
Alright.
this simple, fun adventure, and then people, you know, some of the video games are cool, but through a bunch of things like the video games and the extended universe and all of these, you know, people develop different attachments to it, and then they get so possessive about it, and they think Star Wars is about this one thing because that's the only way they see it. I don't know. That's another reason why I hate Star Wars.
I just
'Cause
want
it
more.
so easily becomes toxic.
I feel like there's such a rich backstory and more like history there, and I just like that stuff. So I'd rather just have a little bit more of that. Because
No, a lot of people feel the same. A lot
yeah,
of people,
totally.
I think backstory is very overrated, so I don't really care about all that stuff.
backstory. Backstory
Sometimes-
puts it in context.
But sometimes mystery is good too.
Sometimes it's
Yeah.
just
And by backstory,
way too much.
I just mean like I like old artifacts and old little tidbits of knowledge. And
Is
Yeah.
Disney still trying to make that Old Republic's
yeah. I think that's still
like
on the.
movie or TV show? It
I
deals
think
a
that's supposed
lot
to be
with
one of the
Jedi
trilogies.
lore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
people.
maybe
who,
you'll get it soon, Cody.
the
Who
people who
knows?
just want lots of lightsaber fights and Jedi stuff.
Yeah.
you got that coming.
I
So
want
there's
that in a
that.
video game, but I want it to be like a treasure hunt video game, like single player.
So
role
bounty
playing.
hunters.
I don't
Star Wars
want
Bounty Hunter is a pretty fun game.
Star Wars bounty hunters.
Bounty Hunter.
Oh,
They
do I have
love
to
to
just
find
go
treasures.
kill people, or can I just go like Tomb Raider and go dig through tombs and find stuff? More Assassin's
The
Creed,
closest thing to just like digging through things for a Star Wars game.
though. Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for the new one to come out. I know it's going to be more fighting than digging through things, but
I don't know. It's pretty heavy exploration based. I don't know.
I like
There's not
that.
really a treasure. There's not
No.
like an
saying they
Uncharted.
should make that though.
Yeah.
And I can find Sith stuff. It doesn't have to be all Jedi, just old things. I
But why?
I like that.
You like
'Cause it's
fictional
fun.
old things?
Yeah.
So Last Jedi would be better if there was just more old things.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean, Palpatine's coming back in this new one.
I know
That's
that-
an
pretty
old
old.
thing.
I
That's
like-
an old thing.
I really like that idea.
We'll find him.
It's pretty fan fiction-y, but
I like it.
yeah, I'm excited.
I find I get a certain level of like satisfaction for fan fiction narratives.
I take that back. I feel like that's way too easy of a thing to say. When
Why?
People are like, this seems like fan fiction. It's like, well, yeah. What doesn't seem like fan fiction, you know?
Right.
I don't know. People just dismiss things too easily, and I shouldn't have done that.
No.
Is this
Palpatine
your-
coming back.
Is this your apology?
Palpatine coming back is probably not the most out there idea, but I feel like
Is
it's,
it his physical body coming back, or
I
is
don't
it
know.
just a possessed spirit? Because
that
how
one
on
shot kind of looks like his hood.
right,
but-
but how on earth would they have found his body in that Death Star wreckage? Because it literally blew up after that.
There actually
He's
is
the most powerful Jedi ever.
So
he
he kept
probably
his-
force flew through space like Leia did to his secret planet, and then he like activated his fallback plan that he always knew he was gonna do. It's all part of the plan.
There is a
He was supposed to
theory
die there.
that I remember hearing that the actor Matt Smith, he used to be like one of the guys who played Doctor Who.
Yeah.
He originally had an undisclosed role in this movie, but then reports had it that they decided not to use him at all in the movie and they took him out. But there is a theory like Matt Smith is the Emperor, but it's like the Emperor embodying someone. I'm not.
This is why I hate theories.
I know,
'Cause
it's just
we
a
were
theory.
here 2 years ago. With
It's
some
just a
Snoke
theory.
theories.
I don't really
the
like
raised
it.
parents theories, and look what that look where that led.
Destruction,
Yeah.
madness, hysteria.
Disappointment.
Yeah, on the fault of the people who did the theorizing.
I do think that
I don't think it was that crazy to theorize that Snoke had a bigger role than he did. Like,
Yeah, but I don't think it's that
I feel like
crazy or
that-
that disappointing when it turns out he doesn't.
Yeah, I wasn't that disappointed, but
I just thought it was cool because
the raised parent thing, when that's the whole, like, I don't know, the whole part of the first movie is like, who really are your parents?
I
Where
don't
did
think
this come
that
from?
I never got that from. That's why I was so confused. I never was like, I need to know who Ray's parents are. It was like, it's sad that she's still. It's sad that she feels abandoned and that she's so in denial about it. Like, I didn't care about who the parents were.
I guess I didn't
From
care.
the beginning. I never really thought they were going to be anybody.
I didn't care until
But
the lightsaber.
She should have been related to Obi-Wan.
Until the lightsaber called out to her, and then I feel like that changed things. Then I was like,
I feel like the
okay, in
lightsaber
what context did the lightsaber call out to her?
She's strong with the Force. And the
Is that-
Force needs to balance itself.
So it was just like the only strong person in the room. That she was the only person that could have come by that lightsaber in like 30 years.
Why not?
I feel like there's
It's like locked up in a tiny side closet downstairs.
I mean, for how the Jedi stuff typically works, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's like saying like Harry Potter, he's the one person who well, yeah, that's the chosen one narrative. That's the whole point. This is the special person.
I don't know.
I feel like it makes perfect sense.
No, I'm with Eric on this one.
I just feel like they were they were setting it up to be that there was something more to her than that she's just really strong with
What
it.
if we finally figure it
'Cause-
out in this 2.5 hour
Because she got
movie?
called out to her in a different voice.
Because she's a tiny little, insignificant nobody in the in the universe.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere, but just because she's nobody who comes from nowhere doesn't mean she can't be an amazing hero.
Oh,
That's what The Last Jedi was trying to get at with Broom Kid.
Yes.
I love Broom Kid now.
And
Broom
everyone's
Kid.
like, "Oh my god, is Broom Kid gonna be in
Rey?
Rise of Skywalker? Broom Kid is Palpatine. Ugh,
Screw
confirmed."
Rey, Broom Kid's the chosen one.
yeah.
See, it's like it just seems so second nature to me. But so many people I feel they miss these obvious things.
It's not that I miss
because
it.
they're so
I
busy
just-
looking for the lore or how it's tied into other things, and it's like, no, it's just a beautiful statement.
It's
on
just a kid with
how
a probe.
anybody from
Right.
anywhere can be somebody. That's the whole point of the original Star Wars movie.
I don't think that was the point. Is what I was trying to get at. I feel like the movies didn't make that point. They could have done a better job of doing that.
Maybe they could have done a better job, but
I feel like it was,
easy
like,
that
harped
Last
on.
Jedi was trying to do that.
Yeah, Last Jedi I think
I
did
feel like
that
the
amazingly.
first film harped on the parent thing, her being abandoned a
Where
lot.
though? What parts in it?
The flashback,
Yeah.
her vision.
Her vision.
That's
always
half
talking
of a second in
yeah.
like a 20-second
and then
montage.
the second
You don't even
movie-
see them. You just see you see her screen. You don't see these shadowy figures who just barely walk out of
ship
frame.
does
It's like,
fly away.
Who are they? Yeah, in the distant background, the camera is right there on the sad little girl who was just abandoned. That's what you're looking at. That's what the point is. Is that a little girl was abandoned? It's not who left this girl.
I am
It's
in the
just that
middle with
she was
you
abandoned.
that it feels like they were initially going to be setting up Rey to be someone of some Jedi descent.
Maybe because that's.
But
that's
I do
JJ's,
agree that Rian Johnson in Last Jedi and the parts in Force Awakens too was trying to get the point that it doesn't matter what bloodlines are, as long you could be nobody, but you still could become somebody.
Yeah, only this one dynasty of
Maybe-
the Skywalkers.
Maybe
could ever
because
use
the
Yes.
first 6 films concentrate so much on family, like who your family was,
Yeah.
where you came from, that to then all of a sudden be like, well, these ones don't matter. It doesn't matter at all. When that's been the narrative, the 6 films into the making, it just, there's such a disconnect there with that.
I do think that's
it's
why there was a lot of
disappointing.
backlash was mostly because
Yeah.
of
Yes,
that.
I still just don't think it's fair to say it was disappointing. I think
It
it
is.
was.
I don't think
know.
it's not unfair to say it's disappointing when you have 6 films that rely on who your father was or who your family ties are or all of that, and then all of a sudden you go, well, they just don't really matter, or it
I
just
don't. It's not saying they don't matter though.
it
it's
is.
just- no,
you
it's
just
not.
said it doesn't matter where you come from. You can be somebody.
Yeah.
For those who are just tuning in, we're talking about the Star
The
Wars
opposite
Rise of
of that.
Skywalker
The
trailer.
opposite, I don't understand how the opposite of that could be a good thing though, because the opposite of that is as long as you come from the Skywalker bloodline, then you can be special. That's not a good message.
I think for these
That's a
films,
horrible
okay.
message to send people.
No, I would have enjoyed. I don't know. I just feel like
There
they
were
could
tons
have.
of Jedi and Force sensitive people before the Skywalkers.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the films focus on the Skywalker. If they want to introduce somebody that wasn't supposed to be a Skywalker, I just don't think they introduced it very well, or they didn't go about it bringing it in very well.
I think that problem that you're getting at, though, it was just because it wasn't planned very well.
Yeah.
Like, I think when the first one came out, Force Awakens, I think JJ was thinking that she was connected in some way. But because he didn't plan that far out in advance and hand it off to another guy who was like, no, let's do it this way. This will be the take that I want to have on the character. So
I don't
now,
like how JJ's like, I never planned that. That was never my intention. Whatever.
JJ's MO for his entire career has always been his puzzle box or his mystery box thing. So that makes perfect sense here. It's like, let's leave a lot of cool little hints that could be taken in infinite directions. That's his whole thing.
Now
so
Ryan Johnson's like,
give her an ambiguous
no
background and people will run wild. And it kind of backfired because people took it way too seriously.
Yeah.
And because of Ryan Johnson's direction of announcing.
So I don't blame anybody for thinking that at the beginning, like, oh, maybe Rey could, be a Skywalker or something.
I was hoping
that's a very safe, very Star Wars thing to think, I guess.
Yeah.
But that was already done. Like, trying to pull another "No, I am your father" twist would feel so fake and so dumb.
I wasn't hoping she was a Skywalker. I was hoping she was a Kenobi.
Whoa, how would that be any better, though?
I just wanted that to happen.
Because it falls into the same.
That's
yeah.
Us past the whole like, oh, she's a Kenobi. Obi-Wan was a Kenobi. Other than that, what do you get from that? What does that give the story? How does that make it better?
I feel like it just intertwined the characters more and brought.
I don't know.
I made more mystery to what Obi-Wan did in the desert while he was watching.
But Cody,
Luke.
you're gonna have a series that talks about that.
Yes,
I'm not gonna have a series.
Nothing will be left to, just be ambiguous. Everything will be answered in time. Every single thing.
Yeah.
I don't like their.
Personally, I don't mind that these characters don't have to be like bloodline driven through like past characters. I'm fine with Ryan Johnson's message of him saying like anyone can have this special ability and you don't have to,
when I think of the three trilogies, the prequel trilogy, the rise and fall of Anakin, that's sort of like, this person who's destined for greatness, they're going to show the galaxy what it means to like be good. They're going to bring balance to the Force. That doesn't work. Then the original trilogy is about kind of redeeming that, through... Yeah, it's through the same family, but you redeem the idea of the light side of the Force. And then once you prove that it can be redeemed, then the sequel trilogy is like, okay, now what are you going to do about that? How are you going to spread that? How are you going to spread the message that evil can be conquered,
Yeah.
Because the whole thing about the sequel trilogy, which I will admit, they have not really made the First Order that very clear of like they're just the bad guy, which...
That they blew up the Republic.
Yeah, I mean, they could have. I feel like they could have fleshed out the First Order a bit more. But the whole idea is that everybody's, living in fear, even though the Emperor was blown up.
Right.
There's still a lot of stormtroopers out there, and so that was the whole Canto Bight part of Last Jedi. All of these people are like living under the boot of the First Order, and everyone around them is like too scared to say anything. But once Luke sends that spark of hope by facing down the First Order, then. People out there are like, you know what? No, there is still hope, and so they're gonna like
Broom Kid.
Yes,
okay.
They're gonna rally behind the idea.
We've talked a lot about the legacy and family legacy, but that wasn't even the part that I disliked the most about Last Jedi.
What was your least?
About Last
part?
Jedi. I thought you meant the trailer.
Because I have things I don't like about Last Jedi. Of course.
The thing I dislike the most, and why I probably will never enjoy it, is how they made Luke this scared hermit. Like, he never would have been scared. He never would have attacked his nephew, even if his nephew would have been going to the dark side. He wouldn't have preemptively tried to kill him in his sleep. That just never would have been Luke.
Yeah, and he realized that wasn't him.
I hated that.
He wasn't gonna do it.
And then he
dies. He lost
And
himself.
then he dies at the end. He doesn't even get to
back.
really redeem himself.
He fully redeems himself. Are you kidding me?
No.
That's why it's so beautiful.
No.
He force ghosts his way or not Force Ghost his way, but I'm gonna say it
Force
anyway.
projection.
Force projectioned his way across the galaxy.
Yes, which they
took
already
out the
talked
first
about earlier.
the First Order by himself. I don't know much about Star Wars, and then he went toe to toe with Kylo.
Yes.
Beat him single-handedly, and he was like, "All right, all on you guys," and everyone was like,
Took the last of his energy and he's gone. Doesn't
Yeah.
need to be gone for the
That was
last
beautiful.
film.
I think he'll be there as a
He's
Force
gonna be a
Ghost.
Force Ghost. He's gonna train,
And then everyone's
Just
going to be like,
didn't
dude,
like-
Force Ghost Luke is the best Luke. Because, you don't have to worry about him dying. He's probably just going to be... He's going to be the mentor that Obi-Wan always was to him, and it'll be beautiful.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
Obi-Wan
don't
came
trust
back as
this
a Force
film
Ghost.
to deliver that for me. I feel like that's an expectation that I need to learn not to have. I just take it
that's
for
true. The less,
good,
take it for
though.
face value,
as little
and I don't like what they
the
did
less
with Luke.
expectations, the better.
Yes,
Because I find
that's good.
as I think about and contemplate this whole series of films, I think my favorite character is still always Luke. I mean, I'd say I miss
character.
Han Solo at the end, but I just miss Harrison Ford's just
Yeah.
charisma and
I mean,
stuff.
he died 4 years ago, so
But
I'm
he's
sorry if
not-
you're still not over it.
I'm not over it, and I never will be. It
I
ruined,
think Harrison Ford's over
ruined
it.
my birthday that year.
I would have loved if that happened on my birthday.
I cried on my birthday. It was
It
my
gotcha.
30th birthday, and I cried.
That was
It's
one
like,
of my
no.
that was one of my least favorite parts of Force Awakens. Not the fact that he died, but the fact
Yeah.
that like
He went out. His son killed him
I didn't
that way.
cry during it because it's gonna happen 5
Right.
minutes before it happens.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
I didn't like it. That's not how Han Solo would have gone out. I wanted to see him
I
blow
think
up.
he would've
If he
gone
was
out
gonna
that way.
die, he either needed to die peacefully in his bed or be blown up in a ship.
He never would. He's not the kind of person who would die peacefully. In
Then
his
he
bed.
needed to be blown up in a ship.
The ship will blow up in this movie.
He needed to be
Lando
blown
and
up.
Chewie will probably suicide bomb the Millennium Falcon into something.
He needed to be the one instead of that general lady that takes the ship and sacrifices
Han
herself.
did?
No, Han needed to be the one to do
Yeah, why?
that. Because that's like how he would go out.
she's not wrong.
I mean, you could say that about any character. Everybody wants a beautiful heroic send-off for their favorite
Yeah.
characters. But if you have a beautiful heroic send-off for everybody, then nobody has a beautiful heroic send-off.
No, that's not true. Bad guys don't get that.
What if they redeem themselves? Like Darth Vader
Then
in
he
The
could
Return
die,
of the Jedi.
He could die peacefully on a funeral pyre.
Yes. He had one last final moment with his son, like Han does with
Yeah.
his son.
No,
Doesn't
that's
turn
not
out as
one
good.
Didn't
last
say one
final
nice
moment.
final moment.
That's terrible. That's not
He got to see his son's face one last time. And then he touches it.
the betrayal.
He touches him and he looks in his son's eyes, and you just know Han's thinking it's really sad that it came to this, but even though you just stabbed me, I still believe that you can come back to the light. And
Ugh.
he falls. And it's so sad. 'Cause he'll never lose faith in his son.
Hopefully not.
Never.
I like Kylo's character.
Kylo's one of the best Star Wars characters.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And Rian Johnson didn't ruin him. He only made him better. He's the only
agree.
thing that made he imparted that character better than what he got.
Like Rian Johnson made everything better.
No, he only made Kylo Ren better. He ruined everybody else.
I mean, Kylo Ren's kind of one half of the entire core of the series, so if he made that better, then he kind of made the whole series better.
No, he only made that element better.
That element's the main element.
If you drive a rusty car, but you put a new front seat in, it's still only a new front seat and a
If
turd.
the sequel trilogy as a whole is a rusty car, a Kylo Ren is at least everything under the hood.
It's just the sweet engine.
Keeping that turd going.
Yeah. Then everybody else are like the seats, the crank window handles,
Yeah.
the volume
He
knob.
broke all the windows and the knobs off, and yet the engine is huge. 454.
That's
Space
past my
ponies.
knowledge of cars.
Yeah. Big.
Space ponies.
No, I'm excited though.
No,
Okay, I had a question.
this trailer will get people hyped because we
Okay,
were talking about
it's
the
a
trailer.
Last thing about the trailer, was General Huck in the trailer? I don't think so. I don't remember seeing him. Do you?
No,
No. I think he's still in the
my-
movie though.
He has to be.
I know.
He
He's
was-
like my favorite Nazi to laugh at.
I know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess I don't think he was
No,
in the
he's
teaser
coming back.
trailer either. Oh, he's definitely in it.
Okay, I was just
Yeah,
wondering
'cause
if it was me.
Domhnall Gleeson's fantastic.
He's gonna be like
You saw it more times than I did, so I thought you would know who was
he's
in
like
it, who
Kylo.
wasn't.
He's gonna be like Kylo's little like servant,
Yeah.
just like get me Sith juice.
Yeah,
And
it
just,
looks like
slap Hux.
it looks like Gleeson's in the movie, and Lupita Nyong'o's in it too. Why do we? I love Lupita, but that character just needs to go away now.
Is it Maz?
Maz, yeah, Maz.
I do
Kanata?
think
Just
it'll be a little
stop.
lame if they don't, answer how she got the lightsaber, purely because they brought that up explicitly in the Force Awakens. Like, how do you have this? A good question for another time. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm remembering that. Like,
Yeah,
you wouldn't have written that in
yeah.
the script unless it really needed to be. Unless that's just J.J. Abrams' mystery box running rampant. Let's put a secret mystery here.
bet that's
Let's
what's-
put a secret here. Let's put a secret here. Fan theory.
Sorry,
fan
sorry,
theory.
Eric.
Whatever.
That's
She's gonna be
definitely
like
what-
had
yeah.
a passionate evening with blah 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 alien race, and I stole it in the morning.
What if she
But
had
I left him very satisfied.
What if she had a
That's why it was a-
passionate evening with Luke?
No, she got
Mm,
it from Sky City or whatever.
Cloud City.
Cloud City.
Well, that's where
yeah.
that was the last place anybody saw it.
Oh,
Right.
really?
Luke's
Oh,
got his hand
okay.
chopped off, and
It
then
was
the
the
lightsaber
lightsaber-
fell.
Oh,
From
yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay, yep.
So I'm gonna go with she had a passionate evening with a smuggler of some sort, maybe
She
a
does
Han
get
Solo
around.
type,
Yeah,
because she does get around.
She has bedded
She opened-
Chewbacca. Well, she's bedded Justin Theroux. So if you can bed Justin Theroux, you can probably bed most people.
Yeah,
All right, you're the expert.
She says that in the movie.
I betted Justin Theroux.
Oh, she's like
wasn't that
it's
the
a poet with a blaster, and then somebody's like
gambler that she sent him to go
the
find?
master codebreaker.
Yeah, the master codebreaker. Okay, but he was gambling.
Yeah, he was rolling die.
Yeah,
Dice.
Oh, that
and then
was
they got
yeah,
then they
okay.
got the
He
wrong
got the
guy.
red brooch.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah,
I thought you were making some weird
No.
joke about
No,
Theroux,
she, like,
but I was like,
totally
oh.
had sex with him.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally did.
She's not
Anyway.
she
really my
knows a
type.
thing or two.
She's not really my type, but
Maybe it's those eyes. Maybe they like hypnotize you.
probably do. In Star Wars,
Who knows what they?
any alien can be with any species. Come
Anything
on,
can be
Right.
used for
don't
sex.
be so close-minded.
Right. If it's got a hole and it's got another thing to put in that hole, it'll find a will and a way.
Yeah. I don't know. Just Star Wars is always, it's just the biggest conundrum to me every time because I love talking about it, but I hate talking about it. I love Star Wars, but I hate Star Wars.
So now you're just happy, but you feel so drained after this talk.
Yeah. I just need to watch the trailer.
I
again.
want to.
Yeah, just watch it 30
watch it
more
and tell me
times,
if you see
man.
General Huck anywhere, because I quite enjoyed him as well.
I'm pretty sure I don't see him in the trailer, if I
He's
recall.
probably not going to have that big of a role.
Man, he was so good. Him
Kylo
and
Ren's
Poe.
probably going to like force grip, choke him to death.
Probably, but Poe Dameron being like, "Hello, hello, can you hear me?" It's General Huck
See,
there.
people hate on that.
I love
so
that
much.
part.
Last Jedi is a weird movie because when I rewatched it pretty recently,
I should do that.
sitting
too.
by yourself, just watching it casually in your house, way different experience in the theater. And when these jokes that were so controversial, when they happen in the actual movie, they just kind of happen. You
Right.
know, it's not so overtly funny. It's not so trying to be funny but fails. It's just another line in the script. And
Yeah.
it's kind of lighthearted, but it's like.
I liked that part.
This is
I'm
what
not
people were
saying-
people just were latching on to every little thing.
No, I legitimately didn't like what he did with some characters, and I think that adds to my kind of overall like meh, feeling towards this movie. But I'm not saying that he completely ruined the whole film forever and ever and ever. And
No, it's a
that
controversial movie for a
there's
reason.
there's some good parts, some funny parts in it, and what he did with Kylo Ren was great. Like he made him so
Yeah.
scary and kind of sexy at the same time, which
Yeah,
also was unnerving.
Hard to do.
Hard
I mean,
Hard
to
to
make.
do. Hard to
Adam-
do that.
it's
with
hard to
the
pull
character.
off that high waistline
Yeah.
Yeah,
on those pants.
it's just those broad shoulders. I was like, whew,
His pants cover up everything except his pecs.
that's all you need, I guess.
Like no torso, he's just pecs and legs.
Now I gotta
Another
rewatch
note-
it to see.
Another note that you jot down while watching by yourself. All
It's a lot of leg
pecs-
on this guy.
all pecs and legs.
Pecs plus legs equals Kylo Ren.
Just on a chalkboard. What does it mean?
Oh, Star Wars. Okay, well, I mean, that's all we really have.
Right.
Yeah, so play the trailer.
Yeah, and this weekend, go check out one of the horror spooky films we discussed. They were all kind of okay.
There's really not a spooky movie out right now.
Not like Halloween
No, not
last
really.
year.
That was so good.
It was really good.
Yeah, that
it
was
was
a good
really
one.
scary.
Just watch Halloween.
Yeah.
Do that instead.
Cool. Well, Kyle, you want to
Send us off
send us off?
into the
All
weekend.
right, here we go. You guys know the drill at this point. Thank you for listening to the podcast. You can check out Off the Break podcast on all podcast places where they go to, as well as at silverscreeninsider.com. Be sure to check out all of our stuff there, including our movie database for all upcoming film information and needs, as well as our articles, reviews, and all that sort.
And you can go look at the Star Wars trailer that we have discussed at length,
At
ad
length.
nauseum in this podcast.
Sorry about that, but hope you guys enjoyed that talk.
Yeah.
Cool.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.